Hello and good to have you join us on TVC News at 1. We begin now with this breaking news that the acting chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, has been suspended. President Muhammadu Buhari approved his immediate suspension to allow for unhindered inquiry by the Presidential Investigation Panel under the Tribunals of Inquiry Act and other relevant laws. This was announced in a statement issued by the Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, made available to journalists. According to the statement, President Buhari has also approved that the EFCC Director of Operations, Mohammed Umaru, take charge and oversee the activities of the Commission pending the conclusion of the ongoing investigation and further directives in that regard. And Mr. Magu was appointed as acting chairman of the EFCC in the first year of President Buhari's administration to replace his former colleague, Ibrahim Magu. This report chronicles the developments leading to the ongoing probe and his eventual suspension.
The 58-year-old senior police officer was appointed to head the anti-graft agency on the 9th of November 2015. In July 2016, the president requested the confirmation of Mr. Magu's appointment by the Senate. 6 months after, on the 15th of December, the Senate rejected the nomination and turned down the confirmation. The ground was a certain security report by the DSS, another agency under the same authority of the president. In March 2017, the Senate again refused to confirm Mr. Magu's appointment, and the reason is still the security report by the DSS, freshly presented a day before the sitting. Section 2, subsection 3 of the EFCC Act 2014 provides that the president alone has the power to appoint who sits as the chairman of the commission. Then Section 11 of the Interpretation Act, Cap 123 of the laws of the Federation of Nigeria allows the president to appoint and reappoint an individual as it is considered expedient as the appointing authority. Having survived every attempt to remove him and seemingly enjoying the support of the president, Mr. Magu remained in office for 4 years and 8 months in acting capacity. But the last stroke that seems to have broken the camel's back came from another part of the presidency, and in fact, the supervising authority to the EFCC. The Attorney General and the Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami in June wrote to the president demanding the removal of Mr. Magu from office. He accused him of insubordination, diversion of recovered loot, accounting discrepancies, and other misconducts. Now, whether Mr. Magu survives this again or not, there are valid questions demanding urgent answers. Is the president satisfied about Mr. Magu's capacity and with it his performance as head of the commission? Is this strategic for agencies and arms of the same presidency to come at each other's neck from time to time? How does this term in the country's anti-corruption driver present the government's claim of being serious with wiping away the menace from the country? Uzonna Ononye, TVC News, Lagos.
And Public Affairs Analyst Ambrose Igbokwe joins me now to discuss this new development. Good to have you join us, Ambrose. Now, what do you make of this news just coming in of the suspension of Ibrahim Magu as acting chairman of the EFCC by the president?
Well, fortunately for me, I was on air yesterday, and I said that he has come home to roost. All things have come home to roost. I'm not surprised. Nigerians have been expecting it. So it's a breaking news, but it's not breaking in any way because it's what has been expected. Right from the last, which is 2015, Magu has always had a case to answer. Our apex secret service, which is the DSS, has told Nigerians via the Senate, they transmitted a letter to the Senate that this man is not fit for this position that Mr. President has nominated him for. Therefore, we recommend that, there was a lot of, according to the Senate, there was a lot of damning reports about this gentleman. And the 8th Senate said, based on these reports we have got, that is so damning, we are not going to confirm him. And the same thing was relayed to the Mr. President. But Mr. President, in his own wisdom, retained him. And after all kinds of lobbying was represented to the Senate, and they still rejected him for a second time. And this man went on to in acting capacity for the past almost 5 years. I don't know which dynamics the president used to retain him, but I thought that the DSS, the other security apparatus are here, the NIA, National Intelligence Agency, and others are here to advise Mr. President on security issues. So if after the advice this was not taken, one should not be surprised that at the end of the day, there are some of those things that might have constituted those DSS reports is finally what we have come to see. So it's not, I don't think it's impactful in any way. The man has served out his tenure. It's a tenure of 5 years. He's almost served out his tenure, just remaining 4 or 3 months to go.
All right.
So
allow me, Botin. Why you're saying that? Ambrose, please just allow me, Botin. Why you're saying that he has a case to answer? There are many who have also celebrated and commended him for his achievements in office vis-a-vis number of convictions. But we've also seen that the directors and sectional heads of EFCC were asked to bring the files of cases handled since 2015, including forfeited assets and all cash releases within 7 days. What does that do to those number of convictions he was celebrated for? And in general, the anti-corruption war of the president?
Well, first of all, the problem in Nigeria has always been a problem of personalizing public offices. It's not about Magu as a person. It's about the systems, the processes in which he came in. He would have done very well or done fantastically as his acolytes want to paint him. But again, what are the processes that brought him in? Of course, the Mr. President has the powers to, appoint anybody. He vetoed the decision of the Senate. But again, the decision of the Senate at that time was not political. It was based on a report, on a security report. Therefore, when you appoint people against security reports of your own security agencies, then it begs the question. So it's not about how he did as EFCC chairman, but the position. How can you have an acting chairman for 5 years, which is not based on? So it is to us that we personalize public office. Those of the people who are eulogizing him, well, he would have done one of two things good, but again, the process that brought him in is faulty. And that is where we should, as a people, start recognizing that processes matter, that systems matter. And as a fight against the anti-corruption,
all right,
a good thing for Mr. President that, okay, nobody's above board, and that even the czar of the anti-corruption fight himself could be arrested and could be prosecuted as time goes by. So it's a good thing for Mr. President's anti-corruption war.
All right, Public Affairs Analyst Ambrose Igbokwe, many thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.